All right, there we go. Got the microphone on again. I think I forgot it. Um, Last Wednesday when I went to lift, I think I left the microphone at home. So like day two of having that microphone, and I didn't use it. So that's cool. But we're back today. We're back. It is the Monday. Is Monday. Is the Monday after Hyrox, which was yesterday. And boy, let me tell you, I am. My legs are hurting. My legs are hurting. Um, it's not that I thought I wouldn't be hurting. It's just maybe like didn't give it enough credit doing all those exercises. I got a taste of every exercise that we were supposed to do, prior to doing it. So like I went to the F45 with my wife and we did like a little mock um, circuit of all the exercises that were in the Hyrox, but we didn't actually do, the running we did was very minimal. The stations weren't like true stations in the sense that we weren't doing a sled pull and push 50 meters, weren't lunging 80 meters or whatever, et cetera, et cetera. So I got a little taste of all of the exercises, but I did not get like, never really did a mock, which is, it's fine, whatever. But now having done it, my legs are hurting, my upper body's fine. I don't really feel, I'm a little sore in my abs and I'm a little sore for some reason, like my traps for some reason. I don't really know what that could be from. But yeah, other than that, like my legs are cooked, and I don't know how I'm gonna squat tomorrow, but we're gonna make it work. Hopefully, just giving my legs a little bit of time today, plus, um, you know, I guess tomorrow as well. Got some really good sleep last night. I was exhausted. We had like a 30,000 step day or close to it. All the walking that we did, that included the running that we did, all the walking to and from the convention center, all the walking around the convention center. It was just a lot, man. And so yesterday we were tired. We both were. Didn't really feel super great, but we're parents, so we made it happen. And um, yeah, but the High Rocks overall, I'll shut up and just kind of give you the recap. I might throw together a little video later on, just some of the stuff, the recordings that we did get from like friends and stuff that were there. But the High Rocks overall was not bad. It was not. I mean, it wasn't easy. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying it was a walk in the park, but it really wasn't like this super intense. Like, well, I don't know how do I word this correctly. It was intense, but it wasn't maybe like what I had worked it up to be in my head. And it was good though. We had a good time. My wife and I did the mixed doubles, and we finished the High Rocks in 1 hour 34 minutes. So that was our time. Mind you, we started training for this thing like 2 months ago. And when I say we started training for it, what I mean was we really started like running for it a couple months ago. Um, 2 months ago, my wife couldn't run a mile, and she just ran 5 miles yesterday, plus all the stuff in between. So shout out to her. She did really well. I think she was very pleased with her performance. I know I was. I was really happy for her. I was really proud of her. So that was pretty cool to see. I started running really with a goal in mind back in October, but it was not the High Rocks. So uh, the goal that I had in mind back in October was I'm going to train for a 10K in April, which I'm still doing. It's actually a 5K, and it's in 2 weeks. But January is really when I got kind of serious about training for the High Rocks because that's when I signed us up. And so that was when my goal shifted to being able to run a greater distance than like greater distance than 5K, was back in January. And so I started doing that half marathon prep, jumped around running programs a bit, and really started training for a 10K then, like really took it seriously, and I guess like locked in, if you will. And so that's what we've been doing for 2 months. Mind you, again, like I said, I had not done a burpee broad jump at all. I pushed zero sleds. I did zero skiing. well, pretty close to it. I did all the exercises, but really like one time between yesterday and the beginning of the year when we signed up. So I did very minimal training on the high intensity stuff and still ended up doing pretty well, honestly. Like what kind of right in the realm of like what I thought we would do. I factored in about an hour for us running and then somewhere between 30 and 45 minutes to complete the stations plus the rock zone. So we ended up doing 1 hour 34 minutes total. And of that 1 hour 34 minutes, 57 minutes of that was running. And then the rest of it was in the rock zone and on the stations. So rock zone, I think was about 11 minutes for us. And then so that means the stations were about, what is that? What does that leave? Like 20 to 25 minutes on the stations. So, you know, people say this is a runner's sport. Man, they're right. Because if you look at those numbers, the majority of the time you're running, you know. That was 5 miles we got done in less than an hour. And so we I think our average pace was somewhere between 6 and 7 minutes per kilometer. So I don't think we ran anything over a 7 minute kilometer, and I think our fastest kilometer was like almost 6 minutes flat. And I was honestly shocked to see that because all the training that my wife had done, I don't think she'd ran that fast before. I don't think any of her training had her running much more than a 7 minute kilometer pace. I could be wrong, but it always seemed like she was averaging somewhere in between 7 and 8 minutes a kilometer. So for her to bust out 5 miles at, like a 9.5 minute pace yesterday was fucking awesome and wild. Like, shout out to her again. So that was pretty cool. I think the biggest struggle for her was the sleds, obviously, because those sleds weigh like, 330 pounds and 225 pounds, depending on the push is 330, the pull was 225 or 335, I think, and 225 for the pull. And, she weighs half that, like she's little. She's like 5 foot flat and she's like 100 pounds soaking wet. So she's not, you know, I guess genetically built to move that kind of stuff, and so it was a little challenging for her, I think. But she ended up doing, I think, a full length on each, and then I kind of picked up the slack where I needed to, and I did 3 full lengths on each, which is not a problem for me because I'm 225. Well, I'm not anymore, so I'm like 210, 215, and but I'm a dude. I strength train. I'm strong. So it was not really an issue for me to pick up the slack there. She picked up the slack in other areas. For me, I think the lunges were the hardest part. They were the exercise that I sort of underestimated the most. I didn't really think that it was going to be an issue to lunge with 40 pounds on my back. But until after you get going, and you're 20 meters in to an 80-meter lunge session, and you realize that you're halfway done with the first half, and you've done all this other exercise prior to that, all the running, all the other stations that you had to do before the lunges. And my legs just got cooked, man, on those lunges. About, I don't know, halfway through or so, I felt my hamstrings just get really tight and my left glute kind of tightened up too. And I was like, man, that's not good, you know. So I thought I was going to have an issue right there at the end with like a, pulled muscle or something. But it ended up, I don't know, I just powered through it. It wasn't that serious. We took the next run after the lunges kind of slow, I think. It was one of our slowest ones. And then we went straight into wall balls. And that was another one where I kind of picked up the slack. Um, so to say, I picked up the slack. There wasn't really slack to pick up. We both did really good. But it was where I just kind of, took more of a command on that one, I guess. I think she ended up doing like somewhere between 30 and 40 wall balls, and I did somewhere between 60 and 70. So like she would do 10. I had her start the wall balls because it was like, well, I'm worried about a pulled hamstring now. We just got done running again. I'm worried that I'm gonna pull a freaking hamstring here. I might need you to like start this and do a little bit more. And I told her that. And we got into it. She did 10, and then I took over, and it was fine. I don't know. It was fine. I ended up doing, I think I did 20 or 25 maybe, and then I passed it back to her, and she did like another 10, and then I think I did another 20, and then she did 10, and then I did 20. Right, kind of, we did that right up until the end where I did like 15, and then she did 8, and then I did the last 8 or something like that. So she did, but she did good. She did a lot more wall balls than she thought she was going to do.
And right here, this is where my microphone died on me and cut out. So I did another like minute or two of talking, but you guys got the bulk of it. I was pulling into the gym at this point, so we'll just cut ahead to that.
All right. All right. All right. Let's be the last warm up. 275 first angle.
And at this point, I was unaware of my microphone failure. So I was talking to myself like everything was cool. And it wasn't until after I recorded this set that I realized that, oops, my microphone is not working. So yeah, all in here, I'm talking to myself, happy as can be, thinking that everybody can hear what I'm saying, when in reality, no one can hear. I think I was just talking about how I was contemplating jumping from 225 to 255 or 260, and then just making the final jump up to 300. But I decided not to do that, and instead I just split it. I jumped up to 275 from 225, and then that was my last warm up, and then I made the jump to 300 here, which is what I'm loading right now. And you can see me just chatting away with absolutely no one. I just look like an insane person sitting on the bench talking to myself, not knowing, oblivious, completely oblivious to my microphone failure. Yet again, technical errors. Three hundred moved pretty well, all things considered. You can see right here on the second rep right there, I kind of hit a wall, but we pushed through it, finished the set. And here again, apparently I had audio issues, which I'm just now finding out about uh, as I go to create this video and edit it and put it all together. So I'm just going to cut it off here. I have no idea what I said. Don't remember what this talking was about. No clue. So I'm just gonna cut it here. I think that's a Monday for you. Monday after Hyrox. This is what happens when you try to put together a video. So maybe next time I'll just have to hold off. But anyways, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Try to do better next time.